Let's get ready to rumble!
What a performance that was.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us in Sportsville, and I must tell you that today's edition is loaded to the brim. My name is Tony Obane. George Alo, unfortunately, is not here. The young man is out there in Cape Verde, enjoying himself and, of course, bringing special stories that you cannot get elsewhere except on this station. George Alo will be talking to us much, much later. But I must tell you that this program, today's edition, is loaded because we have our usuals. Oluchi Tobechukwu is here with me. They call him Lady of the House, Baby of the House, that is. And, of course, an ex-international, somebody who plays for Nigeria, who, of course, fits appropriately into the discussion today. We'll be looking into the health challenges of our ex-internationals, which has been headlined, by the illness of CCC, the man they call Chairman Christian Chukwu, the man that did so absolutely well. Remember 1980, I can still go back. I remember how he lifted the cup, and, of course, then President of Nigeria, Shehu Shagare, of course, was so delighted he jumped up. And we'll be looking at those challenges and then be looking at the after effects, the investments of ex-international sportsmen generally. We have somebody who will be, dissecting them. He played for Nigeria, and of course he was a terror during his time. I'll just keep it for a secret, and I will just come down. That we're also looking up to the Champions League. It has gotten to that point that everybody must watch, and Tuesday, Wednesday, it will be coming up. But we have very loaded program, as I told you. It's just for you to sit back, relax, and watch us do this, and of course, bring joy and entertainment to your living room. Stay tuned, because when we come back, we'll now go straight to unveil, this masquerade that I talked about, ex-international, and of course, the in-house analyst, Oluchi Tobechukwu Tobex.
Share romances, make a friend. Stick together till the end. Share romances, socialize. Share Mentos and be nice.
Mentos candy. Crunchy outside, chewy inside.
Have some fun. Who says no to Mentos?
Now introducing the new Mentos Extra Strong Mint.
Okay, you're welcome back to Sportsville. If you're just joining us, you have not missed so much, but you're just on time, to know and, of course, see the people who are going to analyze, do duties for us today. We have our baby in the house, Oluchi Tobechukwu, one who knows well when it comes to female football and, indeed, anything that concerns sports. Oluchi, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you so much to Tony. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm always grateful wherever you're wearing the captain's band. I'm also in the lineup. I'm so happy that we're looking at a very sensitive and important, subject matter today. And I hope we'll be able to, give orientation to our viewers at home.
Okay, thank you so much, Oluchi. And we also, the big masquerade that I wanted to unveil, now is the time for me to unveil him. Clement Temile. Of course, that name rings a bell anywhere you are. If you remember him, I still remember him. I told him off camera, how he terrorized people. He was a daredevil, somebody who never fears any opponent, no matter your height, no matter your stature. Clement Temile, it's good to see you, and you're welcome.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here.
Okay. Clement Temile will be taking a lot of questions on the retirement plans of ex-internationals. We are just doing this, highlighting the ill health of Christian Chukwu, a man that has done absolutely so much for Nigeria, but he is down currently. But Nigeria has equally reason up to show that they will never back him. Very good one. But before we come to that, let's go straight to our top news to tell you that the Minister of Youth and Sports, Barrister Solomon Dalong, has inaugurated the main organizing committee for the 20th National Sports Festival in Edo State. The 19-man MOC has the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Youth and Sports, Mr. Olushade Adeshola, as the chairman, and Deputy Governor of Edo State, Mr. Philip Shuaibu, as vice chairman. After the inauguration, the minister charged the MOC to be committed and let history be repeated through a successful hosting of the 2020 National Sports Festival. Oluchi, you are talking about 2020 Sports Festival. That means we are moving ahead, and Dalong is still so much thinking about 2020. Does this in any way suggest that Dalong is going to be lucky again, with this administration?
Well, for me as an individual, I don't really want to dwell about that. But as far as he's still the Minister of Sports presently, he needs to do everything possible to make sure, that every machinery is on ground, that every future event, things are being put in place, and to make sure they are actually actualized.
We move straight to tell you that the Nigerian national rugby team, the Black Stallions, will face their Ghanaian counterparts in a two-legged encounter for the President's Cup. The first leg will be played in Lagos, May 4th, 2019, and the second leg, which was originally scheduled to hold on May 11th, but has been postponed until 11th June due to the Ramadan fast. A one-week camping exercise will commence on 27th April ahead of the first leg. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Rugby Football Federation has released a 30-man squad for the match. And moving on, we also tell you that Nigeria's 3x3 men basketball team will play no part at the FIBA 3x3 World Cup qualifier 2019 in San Juan, Puerto Rico, after they pulled out of the competition due to visa issues. The team has since been replaced by Canada for the FIBA 3x3 World Cup, according to FIBA.com. The qualifying tournament is billed for May 4th and 5th in Puerto Rico. To advance, the 2019 FIBA 3x3 World Cup will take place in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, from June 17th to June 22nd. Oluchi, we just talk about visa. Almost in almost all aspects of football or sports generally, we see that there has been visa hitches that has affected.
I think it's a shame.
Sports.
I think it's a shame. I think the embassies, they should be more embracing, especially when it gets to sports and events, taking place in their countries. These are competitions that have been documented before time. You can do there is every means you can use to verify if actually these people are sportsmen and women. If our own George Alu could just, in a jiffy, just go to Cape Verde, how much more, lads that are representing the country in an international competition.
Sometimes, Oluchi, it's not the fault of the embassies. I'm not holding it for them. Sometimes the organizing secretaries, people who organize these things, don't give them information ahead of time. For embassies, they need, as in competitions in sports, things that are scheduled ahead. And of course, if you want to apply, you should apply earlier on.
No, I do not want to believe that this fault is from the secretaries or the federation, because I've had issues, especially, I do not want to mention names with the Spanish embassies. You do everything possible, even the media personnel, they are denied visas to go and cover, events. But, be it as it may, everybody that is involved in making sure, that these lads, they have the opportunity to travel out and represent their country, they should put all hands on deck and make sure that things go smoothly. It won't be nice, for people that are supposed to represent this country to be the one to bear the brunt after training, and weeks in camping, and at the end of the day, they are just back home.
That's top news. Before we go on this break, I told you earlier that our man George Aloha is out there in Cape Verde, for the African Youth Games, and George will be feeding us, from Cape Verde on all the activities. George Aloha, how is it?
Well, thank you, Tony. Wonderful, I must tell you. This is a celebration of African football at youth level. I mean, it has been, it was 1 week of fun in Cape Verde, I must tell you. The tournament came to a close yesterday, Saturday, and the two Nigerian teams that participated here did put up a good performance. Bayelsa United losing in the semi-finals, and Powers Academy of Jos getting all the way to the finals. It was a wonderful one. Teams from different parts of the continent, and even from outside the continent. Benfica, the top club from Portugal, they were here with their youth team, under 16 team. They had fun. In fact, the locals, because Cape Verde was a former colony of Portugal. So I must tell you, Tony, that it is a wonderful initiative. This is the first the first youth tournament that is taking place in Africa. And let me tell you, African teams go out to play the Godia Cup, play the Dallas Cup, play the Uber Cup, play the Brazil Cup. But for the first time, we're having a youth tournament in Africa. So it's a good one. And it can only get better, I must tell you.
You are welcome back. We're just going to the main topic. You know, we're looking at the welfare of ex-internationals, generally sportsmen and women who have represented Nigeria. This has become necessary, you know, because of the ill health of Chairman Christian Chukwu, and of course the nation was rattled when we heard about, you know, the ill health of Christian Chukwu. And I must say, you know, that the government of Nigeria, that of Enugu State in particular, you know, rose up to the occasion, and commendation must also go to the Otedela Foundation, who has also redeemed $50,000, you know, to ensure that Christian Chukwu will be flown abroad. And we have an ex-international here who has played for Nigeria. I told you earlier, you know, how good he was. Clement Emile, we are looking at, you know, the welfare of ex-internationals as it concerns ill health and things like that. How do you see, you know, of course, how do you see, you know, the news concerning Christian Chukwu, somebody that you know very well?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Obane. Like I told you, concerning the ill health of ex-internationals, you see, I don't want to go into it so deep, because the the men that is the custodians of football in this country, they actually the ex-players is not in their own how do you call it, in their own budgets. Once you finish playing, they don't even care whether you served in the nation. I'm not blaming them in any way, because as you as a player, when they tell you save for the rainy day, you need to know this time will come one day. Because you see, what the custodians of footballs they just want is the current players at the moment. And you see, why we as at now, I'm the first vice president of the Players Union. We always tell them, come and be a card carrier member, so that when something like this happens, we can always come to your aid. Also, they have an ex-international forum, which is headed by Austin Eguavon. Come and register. You know, many of them, that attitude of, because I am an ex-player, I'm entitled to this. They are not entitled to NFF anything. The NFF did not owe them anything. The truth is that you as a person, when you are playing, like the president now, Babangida himself, I remember one day he said he's going to Holland to collect his pension scheme. Those things are the things that we should put in place for ex-players by the custodian of football. When you ask the ex-players to come, they feel too big to come to meetings. They feel too big to come to be a card carrier. And when this type of thing happens, we start to run scatter for support. I think, well, we as a union, we came all out, that is NAFT, the Players Union, we came all out to appeal to most top players. Now, come and be a card carrying member. So this type
in this card, when you talk about your union, you know, being a card carrying member, do you have a budget? Do you have money that you start somewhere that you can take, you know, to you look after somebody, you know, either your member who is ill?
Yes, you see, in the past, because of the issues we've had with the union, they weren't stable. But now we're stable. We have started really keeping things for the rainy day, for those that will be card carriers of the union. We have a lot of incentives for them. You understand? And you see, the truth is, when we talk about card carriers in the Players Union, when you finish playing, we intend to support you. We as a union at this moment, we are really concentrating we are concentrating on the current players, not the ex-players. Okay. So any ex-player who wants to have the attention of the union or to assist, they should come to be a card-carrying member of the union. Another thing, the custodian of football, like the NFF and the league body, they are not encouraging us at all as a union, because you see the pension scheme, Sigma pension, we have been talking with Sigma pension over 2 years now to put all these things just discussed in place. They came all out to say yes, they want to become part of the union, but the NFF will not give the way for them to come in.
Okay, Mr. Temile, just hold it there. We'll be coming back to you. Let's, Oluchi, Temile has just highlighted, some of the problems, facing ex-internationals, and of course, even those who are active. And he did mention about, the Nigeria Football Federation not rising up. But I must say, from what we have seen, so far since Melvin Pinikamajo came on board the Nigeria Football Federation, the rapid response, even to this Chukwu's case, was so encouraging. Or what do you think?
Yeah, Tony, I absolutely, and with the whole of my heart, totally disagree with what Temile had said earlier. Let's not forget that it is not only the footballers that has brought pride to these nations, to this nation. We also have people in other sports that have done so great, and now they are retired. They aren't either running, representing Nigeria in one sport or the other. Nobody's even talking about them. Every attention has been on footballers. We have people like Mary Onyali, that are still doing well for themselves even after retirement. We need to keep on talking about reorientation and making these players know that Nigeria as a country does not really owe them, because while they were representing these countries, they were duly paid. Look at what happened to this set of Super Eagles when they went to Russia to represent the World Cup. You can't begin to imagine, the amount of money that was spent on them and the amount of money that they got as allowances as well. We have civil servants. They are also working for the government.
Absolutely.
What happens to them when they get retired? A lot of them face so much queues, waiting for their pensions. So I am looking at it this way, we need, that is why I'm happy with what Aisha Falode is doing, especially as regards the Women's League. We try and make sure, to carry these girls along, that you can also play football and also carry education along.
But there is life after football.
There is life after football. You need to be educated, and I'm so happy with, for the past 3 seasons, our emphasis has been on that. Be it as it may, for the men's league, the ones that are still active now, when even players' representation, for a player while going into a contract, for you to just even get a lawyer to represent your interest, they find it difficult to do that, just because they do not want to pay, a certain amount of money, to the lawyer to represent them. So how do we go about it? You need to talk about seminars. You need to let them know, the importance of all these things. I do not want to go and use Christian Chukwu as a case study. I do not want to sound insensitive, but I must say kudos to the government of Enugu State. Even I also heard that his son was given automatic, employment. Is it dovetailed, to even his son. I must say kudos to them. But like I said, I also belong to a union, Women's Ex-International.
No. I saw that you are angling to respond.
The blame is on NFF.
You see,
what have they done to help themselves?
I am not talking about the question they asked me is about football. They didn't ask me about basketball. So I talked purely about football. When you're talking about sports generally, you don't need to disagree with me, because I'm talking about football. I'm not talking. I don't.
And that was a game.
Yeah, yes, this is what the sport I played. This is what you asked me. How we are running it. This is what I explained.
Tell me, I also narrowed it to football. I also narrowed it to football.
When you said, you said it's not only football. No. Yeah, you can hear. You heard when I said it is not about the NFF to take responsibility of the players.
No, you did that.
I did say that.
But let me ask. From what Oluchi did, Oluchi just took a broader look at so many of the things.
Yes.
You narrowed football.
Yes.
But I must tell you, she mentioned something, and that has something that I really want to ask. So many people have been asking me the questions. Why, when you were active, ex-international, when they were active, sometimes they held the Nigerian government to the jugular. They don't want to play if their bonuses are not ready. All their demands must be met. Of course, there have been a lot of instances, where they did this, and Nigeria had to pay to the extent of even flying money in an empty aircraft to them and all those things. If through these times that your rewards were paid while you were active, must Nigeria continue to owe you, you know, when things like this happen?
No, they don't owe us anything. I did it personally when we wanted to go and play Liberia. They were supposed to pay us our allowances, and the allowances are not paid. I personally, Stephen Keshi and Henry Mosu, though they backed out later, but I stood my ground that I need my money before I go. It is my right. Today I'm not asking from the government anything because I know what I have laid down before I finished playing football. And that's what I'm telling you as well. You see, our days, when we tell them, save for this rainy day, they don't understand. Now we are telling even the younger ones that are playing now, please go and do a pension, save something, very little thing. At the end, you will gain it. You can earn all your life. That's money, that peanut, like Oluchu said. They don't want to pay. If you ask them to pay something, to take a lawyer, because they will pay like 20,000, they don't want to go to see the lawyer. But at the end of the day, the club will end up not paying them over 2-3 million.
Okay.
It's our fault.
Okay, we are looking at you know, the welfare of ex-internationals, and of course highlighting, you know, the health challenges of Christian Chukwu, a 68-year-old man that played for Rangers International, winning the Cup Winners' Cup, and of course winning the first African Cup of Nations in 1980 for Nigeria. He went on to also win in 1985 when Nigeria became the first country, you know, to win the under-16 Kodak JVC World Cup. Oluchi, we are just looking at you know, the charitable efforts of Otedola Foundation. Just heard about it, and you know, he rose up to the occasion. What Nigerians are doing is showing appreciation. Chukwu is not a pauper. The Christian Chukwu that I know is not a pauper. But then for somebody who has served Nigeria, served Rangers International, he has been in sports all his life. You know, I think we should also say very good words to Otedola, and indeed, you know, to Enugu State government for their timely efforts.
A lot of Nigerians, you know, really appreciate, you know, what they have done. Anybody that brings joy, you know, to the minds of Nigerians, they should be appreciated, you know, in one way or the other. So if individuals come out to do this, we are cool about it. But I must also beg on the LMC, laws should be, you know, made to compel these clubs to make sure that certain amounts or percentage, you know, is deducted from their salaries, you know, for these pension funds, so that after they retire, players can access this. You just don't give them that liberty voluntarily to do this pension thing themselves. They won't do it.
I must say that Rangers International is an institute, you know, as in Rangers International Football Club, you all know it, and the way they did rise up, especially Enugu State government. Do you think that if this has happened outside any other club, you know, that the government of such a state, you know, would equally do it? As in, I think there should be an awareness for clubs to equally show appreciation, yes, you know, to their ex-internationals.
Yes, I think the state like Edo State will do that because of the
Edo Delta,
you know,
River State.
I don't want to mention names like Delta because I'm from Delta. I know if you are in love with football, there you will go for football. I will not Delta. I don't think Delta will come up to stand like the Enugu government did. And when you are talking about people coming to stand, Delta, as I know, will not come up for anybody. The NFF, you give kudos. Amaju, Pinnick, you gave kudos to that they went to give checks and all those stuff. We shouldn't wait for all these things to happen before the man comes out to come and give checks. He should do something. He has done well when you talking about aspect of the game, bringing the teams to higher heights, the football to higher heights in the international level. But when it comes to the welfare of players, it's zero. I must confess and I must say the truth with all the confidence.
I do not understand when you say that when it comes to the welfare of players. I do not understand the welfare of players that he has not scored any marks.
No, you look, when things happen to you, you come out. Is that what you call welfare? When Oruma was sick, people were saying Oruma. Something's wrong with it. All of a sudden he came out, he said he want to give Oruma a job in the NFF. Is that the type of
What would Pinnick have done? Because his responsibility, as far as NFF is concerned, is to make sure that football gets running. Our national teams are being taken care of. Active players. We've had a wonderful season for our women's national team for the first time. They've never had, the best preparations as far as the World Cup is concerned. We're talking about WAFU. We've had the best when you look at Russia that just finished. NFF is doing the best that they can do with all the negative distractions. To make sure that they don't.
You are seeing it from the outside. You are seeing it from the outside. You are seeing it from the outside. I am seeing it from the inside. Because you see, it's not for him to go and knock on doors. What is the essence of having the football union, the players union, which are duly recognized by the NFF? The responsibility of the union is for them at least. There is, since I became a member of this union, since I came back from Europe, I have been working with the union. What we have been asking the NFF and the NFF and the league management is CBA, collective bargain agreements, which we have had several meetings with Sheodiko, several meetings with Amaju Pinnick, that they are going to sign this so that we can kick start with our players. They never encouraged us.
Okay, Temile, thank you so much. I must tell you that we have taken the importance of what you have said, and of course people have heard about it. We just call for a break, and of course when we come back, we just hitting the home front.
Share a mentor's make a friend. Stick together till the end. Share a mentor's socialize. Share Mentos and be nice.
Mentos candy. Crunchy outside, chewy inside.
Have some fun. Who says no to Mentos?
Now introducing the new Mentos Extra Strong Mint.
Okay, yeah, welcome back to Sportsville. It's your favorite channel on sports. Every Sunday we come here, we analyze things that really touch the heart. And I do know that the welfare of players has always been a very, very dicey one. And of course, if we leave Oluchi and Clement Emile, they will go on and on and on. But anytime we talk sports on TV, there is no time. I see that our producer Tayo Ogunshewe has really been scratching his head because of time. And of course, you know that in sports, we must always be timely. And on Tuesday, of course, you know that the semi-final of the UEFA Champions League, comes up. We'll be having Tottenham, hosting Ajax. And on Wednesday also, Barcelona will be hosting Liverpool on Wednesday. These are very interesting matches that are going to, lighten up Nigeria. The matches will be played out there in their places, but I know that in Nigeria, it's going to really, really lighten up Nigeria. Tuesday, Wednesday for the Champions League. Let's go straight to Temile to just take a word from you for coming. Thanks so much for always being here with us.
Thank you very much.
And Oluchi Tobechuku.
A time of sober reflection. If your body fails you as a footballer, your brain should be able to help you. And that is the message we must preach to these footballers.
Okay, thank you so much. My name remains Tony Ubane. And of course, our man, George Alo, who is out there in Cape Verde. We hope that he will come back. He will not run away from Cape Verde. Because the last time I spoke to him, he was saying about very sweet, sweet things. The George way. Thank you and bye-bye.